Welcome to the Stories and Maker's Nest, the children's program from Leaside United Church and Rosedale United Church in Toronto. My name is Rebecca, and I'll be leading our program today. This week is the third week of Advent, which is the time that leads up to Christmas, and we are going to be talking about joy. For our craft activity today, you will need 2 pieces of paper in whatever color you would like, a pencil, markers or pencil crayons, and a stapler if you have one. And if you do, perhaps you might want to bring a grown-up along to help you use it. You will also need your Read, Wonder, Listen Bible if you have one. But if you don't worry, we'll be doing the story together. If you're watching this video on YouTube, this is a great time to pause the video, collect everything you need, and when you're ready, you can come back, unpause, and start when you're ready. And now to begin, we light the Christ candle. And we light the Christ candle to remind us that God is with us here in this space. The God of hope, peace, joy, and love. In Advent, there are also special candles that we light for the 4 weeks leading up to Christmas. We have already lit the candles for hope and peace, so this week we light the pink candle for joy. And as we light this candle, may we remember the joy of Christmas time and of Jesus' birth. And now we begin with our centering and grounding prayer. If you know the words to this prayer, you can follow along with me. And if you don't, there's some actions that we do while we say this prayer, and you can follow the actions as we go. Dear God, we thank you for today. We thank you for tomorrow. We thank you for our brains that help us think, our bodies that help us move, and our hearts that help us love. Amen. Over the last couple of weeks, we have been telling the stories that lead up to Jesus' birth. We heard about how Zechariah saw a mysterious visitor who told him that he and his wife Elizabeth would be having a baby, and that baby would be named John. After hearing this news, Zechariah couldn't speak. And then we heard about Mary, and how another visitor told her that she was pregnant with a very special baby, who would one day be Jesus. We ended the story last week with Mary going to visit with Elizabeth. Let's see what happens next. Mary is surprised. Page 144 from the Read, Wonder, Listen Bible. Starting at the words, Elizabeth welcomed Mary. Elizabeth welcomed Mary with a warm hug. As the women clung to each other, something wonderful happened. Elizabeth felt the baby inside her jump for joy. He knows you, she said to Mary with a laugh. You and the special baby you will have. Even inside his mother, still forming, still growing, John knew Jesus. The joy that Mary felt burst out into a song. My heart leaps for joy because of the Lord. I was cast down, but God has lifted me up. I was empty, but now I am full. God turns everything upside down. God pulls down the proud from their fancy thrones, but helps the poor and the needy to their feet. God humbles those who have too much, but fills the hungry with good things. Not long after, Elizabeth gave birth to a baby boy. All her neighbors came to celebrate. What will you call him? They asked. You should name him Zechariah after his father. But Zechariah shook his head. On a wax tablet he scratched the words, His name is John. In that moment, Zechariah got his voice back. Like Mary, his joy bubbled up into a song. Blessed be our God who has come to be with us. God has kept those promises made so long ago. And you, my child, will be a prophet of God. You will go ahead to prepare the way of the Lord. You will teach people about forgiveness and make them ready to welcome the light. The light is coming to shine on us, who sat in darkness and shadows, and to guide our feet in the way of peace. This week of Advent is joy. You might have noticed that the time around Christmas can be pretty joyful. What makes you full of joy around Christmas? For me, I find joy in spending time doing fun things with my family, like ice skating, and showing my love to my friends and family by baking sweets for them. But this is also a time of joy because we're celebrating Jesus being born. And this is so amazing because Jesus had special work to do. Jesus taught us about God and showed us how to live in a new kind of way, in a way that helps others and shows love for everyone. For our craft activity today, we're going to be making a book of joy. So to start, you need 2 pieces of paper, and they can be any color of paper. They don't have to be pink like mine, but I chose pink just because that's the color of joy on week 3 of Advent. And what you're going to do is you're going to put them right on top of each other, like this. And then we're going to fold it in half, all the way, and fold that down. And this is going to make our book. And then to hold our book steady, I'm going to put some staples up the side, just so that as I open it up, it doesn't fall apart. But if you don't have a stapler, then you can see this book works just fine without it. You just have to be a bit more careful that you don't lose any pages. So I'm going to use the stapler here and give it a few staples. And also, this is a reminder to always stay safe and ask for help when you need it. So if you are unfamiliar with how to use a stapler or a bit younger, you can always ask for help from a grown-up. So there, my book is ready. I've got all my pages. And I'm going to use a marker. And I'm going to write the words on the front. Joy, in really big letters. J-O-Y. And I'm going to come back to this front page and decorate it in a bit. But first, I'm going to turn to my first page and show you how to make our joy book. So on each page, using a pencil, you can write, joy is ... And then at the bottom, you can put something that for you reminds you of what joy is. So these can be really special and unique to who you are, and maybe something to do with the traditions that you have around Christmas time. So as I said before, I really love going ice skating with my family. So that's going to be my first one. Joy is ice skating with, oops, spelled that wrong. That's all right. All of us make mistakes sometimes. With my family. And as you can see, I left a big space here so that I can draw a picture afterwards of that. But I'm going to keep writing my ideas out now and then come back and do the pictures after. So my next one is joy is the smile . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Mom's face when I bake for her. That feels really special when that happens. So I've got that down as one of my joy book pages. And then I'm going to turn the page. And I have to think of a couple more. Joy is... When I think about traditions that we do that bring me a lot of joy in my family, one thing that we do is we get a chocolate advent calendar every year. And that's pretty exciting on its own, but the thing that really brings me joy is we have a rule in my family that I'm not allowed to eat my chocolate every morning until I've said one thing that I'm thankful for. So for me, joy is finding something I'm thankful for every day. Oh, and I should mention, I'm writing all this out, but if you don't know how to write yet, you can just draw pictures that remind you of the things that you're joyful about. Or if you don't want to draw pictures and you do want the words written down, you can ask someone a bit older maybe to help you out. So, my next one is joy is, and for my very last one, I'm going to say joy is spending all day in my pajamas and drinking hot chocolate. There we go. And now, if I turn the page, you can see that I have 2 more pages that are blank. And I'm going to write joy is on each one, but I don't think I'm going to fill them out yet. And what I'm going to do is leave them blank, and as we go towards Christmas in the next week or so, then I'm just going to look around me and notice what's bringing me joy and notice the joy around me. And as I find those things, I'm going to add to my book over time. So I'm leaving these pages blank for now so that I can add for later. So now it's time for me to draw my pictures. So I'm going to go back to the front and draw the pictures that represent all these things. And like I said before, this book is really special because it's completely unique to who you are and what brings you joy. So your things in your book won't be the same as mine. But if you're looking for some ideas, if you can't think of something, you can think of the last time you laughed, or something you did with your family recently that you really liked, or if there's something you're looking forward to in the next week. Those are all great ways to notice the joy around you. I'm happy with my front cover, so I'm going to continue to draw my pictures. And there we have it. I've finished my joy book how I would like it. So I've got my front page, then I've got joy is ice skating with my family. Joy is the smile on my mom's face when I bake for her. Joy is finding something I'm thankful for every day. And joy is spending all day in my PJs and drinking hot chocolate. And then I have these 2 pages blank so that as I continue to notice things that bring me joy, I can put them in my book. And you can do that too. And once you're all done your book, this is a great thing that you can keep for yourself as a wonderful reminder of all the things that bring you joy, or this is a great gift for someone if you'd like to do that as well. And as we come close to Christmas time, may we also remember all of the joy that we feel for Jesus' birth. As we go out from this time together, let us give thanks for the joy of Jesus' birth. See you next week.